Hello, it's Sonia here with The Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So I usually post videos about crocheting, such as stitch tutorials and actual patterns and other yarny related stuff. And occasionally I do knit. I'm a much better crocheter than knitter, but I do enjoy both crafts. I also post videos about Tunisian crochet, which is almost like a combination between knitting and crochet, but it's kind of its own separate entity. And once in a blue moon, I do post videos about random stuff, which I call Miscellaneous Monday. So if that interests you, then I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. No pressure. And today's video is just going to be like a catching up video about what's been going on. It's been a hot minute since I've done one, and I haven't posted in a while, so I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. It's the new year. So what have I been up to? Last time you saw my hands, at least on YouTube, I was working on a series called 12 Days of Winter Wear, and unfortunately I only got to 9 days because if those of you that are new, you don't know that my husband, he passed away. It's almost 10 months now, and it was unexpected. He had been sick, but it was, you know, we thought he was going to make it, and it was not COVID. So just want to put that out there. It wasn't COVID. He had type 2 diabetes and got an infection, and we thought he was going to pull through, and unfortunately it went the other way. So it was our first holidays without him, and I thought I was going to be okay, and then I just kind of imploded is the only way I can think of. I was trying to do too much. It just wasn't, it was not good. And so I just kind of put the brakes on everything, and fortunately I had family to come help me out. I had nothing wrapped and my house was a mess. I was just not in a good place, and so my sister came out to help me kind of get ready for Christmas, because I normally love the holidays. And I have 3 kids. I mean, they're older, 2 in college and 1 in high school, but I wanted it to make a nice Christmas for them, and I was really struggling. So, those of you that are in a similar situation, if you need help, ask. And that's kind of what I did, and I am just so thankful for my sister who came out to help me. And she actually has 8 kids, and she still came out, and it was just, it really touched me, and I really needed it. And also, so then I just put the brakes on my 12 Days of Winter Wear. I had gotten behind, and I was trying to get it done in time, and I just wasn't able to. And sometimes you just kind of have to admit defeat. And as I tell my kids, you might be down, feel sorry for yourself, whatever, and then you just dust yourself off and pick yourself up again. So that's what I'm trying to do. I survived the holidays, and then right after Christmas, literally the day after, we all got COVID. So, that kind of forced me to relax. I was trapped in my bedroom, and fortunately we did not get that sick, and all of us got sick. My 3 kids, myself, and actually my extended family, but praise God, we really weren't that sick. Like, I was probably, down and out for about a week, but I've been sicker. I had the flu 3 years ago, and I was deathly ill from that. And this COVID thing wasn't fun, but, fortunately it wasn't too bad for us. I know there are others out there that are not so fortunate, and my heart really goes out to them, because I know how difficult it is when someone you love is really sick. And I really understand. I know. Survive the holidays and just trying to move ahead. What's going to happen with my channel? One of the goals that I have for 2022, I'm not going to put too many goals on myself. That's one of the goals. I tried to do too much last year, and I'm just not going to do that. But one of the goals I have, I would really like to get monetized. I'm super close, so that would be awesome. And I also would just like to kind of post things that I'm kind of into at the moment. I usually try to do some type of series for the year, and this year I just really couldn't think of anything, and I'm just going to kind of post things, whatever I feel like, basically. So what that will entail is I usually do try to post at least once a week, and I still want to keep that goal of posting at least once a week. Sometimes it's more than once a week, but it's usually once a week. I have been doing a series called Crochet Stitch of the Week, and I'm going to keep doing that until I reach 100 crochet stitches of the week. I really enjoy doing them, but not that many people watch them. And I would like to do some other things. I really love making patterns. So when I do the crochet stitch of the week, it kind of takes up a lot of time. It's not really that much time to film, but I guess it's more like busy work. And if it's not really paying off, I'm just, you know, kind of just gonna cut myself off at 100 stitches. And what I thought I might do is maybe make some blocks out of those 100. I won't make 100 blocks, but I thought, you know, maybe make like Afghan blocks or blanket blocks or whatever you want to call them. And, you know, maybe kind of, you can piece them together and make something out of them. Or they could just be dishcloths, you know. So I thought that might be something that I would do with all of the stitches that I've done for Crochet Stitch of the Week. Not all of them, but, you know, a lot of them. And yeah, as I said before, I'd like to make some more patterns. I would like to continue making 18-inch doll patterns. I have, you know, been doing that, and that's where I started with my crochet pattern journey, was with 18-inch dolls, because my daughter was gifted an American Girl doll and the clothing was super expensive, so I started making clothing for her, and that's been really, really fun. And it's always, they're always kind of near and dear to my heart, even though my girls are older now and don't play with dolls, but I still enjoy crocheting them, and I have lots of little nieces that I can gift the clothing to, so they're gonna get the clothes that I make. And I will try really hard. There's been some comments and things on my videos with the sizing regarding the 18-inch dolls. They can be very tricky with sizing because there are a lot of different 18-inch dolls. So I'm not trying to make excuses for myself, but, you know, facts are facts, and the doll sizes can really, really vary depending on which doll that you have. In our house, we have 18-inch dolls, American Girl dolls, and we have a couple, I think we have at least 5, and out of those 5, they're all different sizes. Now the height is the same, but the body, the waist, are very, very different. Some, I think the older dolls are a little bit, their waist sizes are larger, and they're just kind of, their bodies are just a little bit larger, and then some of the newer ones, you know, they're smaller. So it can be difficult to try to size for all those different body types, basically. And depending on the brand that you have, you know, they might even be smaller. Yes, the heights are the same, but you know, the waist, especially when you're making pants, certain tops, you know, it can just be difficult. So I will try my best to kind of give you tips to fit it to your doll, depending what type of doll that you own. So that, you know, that'll be something that I will try to, you know, work harder at, and, you know, I'll just do the best that I can. And I will share those tips that you can do that I've learned through the years to kind of help with fit. I thought also I would like to make more patterns of like garments, like for grown-up people. I do a lot of dolls, and I thought I might like to try to do that. I've not really made too many sweaters. I've made some for myself, but I've not really made patterns for big people. So I thought maybe I would try to dip my toe into that. And so I thought I would close out the video. As I said before, I had made a series called 12 Days of Winter Wear, and I got up to 9. And I thought I would recap all those things. So if you're interested in that series, I will link the playlist. And I still intend to make it 12 days. That's the goal. There's 3 more patterns that I need to put up, and I'm working on editing them now. So it might be kind of weird because I have Christmas music with it, but you know, that's the theme. I was leading up to Christmas with those, and I don't want to leave it unfinished, so I definitely want to try to finish that up. So I will show you all the 12 patterns, and I will show you the 3 that aren't up yet. And actually 2 of them aren't quite finished. As I said before, you know, everything imploded with the 12 days of winter wear, and then I got sick. So I am, you know, finally feeling like a normal person, so I want to finish that stuff up. So the first pattern that I made, so the first one here is the muffin hat here. It is made with worsted weight yarn, I believe, an eye hook or 5.5 millimeter. I'm not 100% sure because I made this one a while ago, but it's actually just, it's made top down and simple cables here. And the nice thing with this pattern is you can definitely adjust this. So if you want a more slouchy hat, you can easily do that with this pattern. Super simple. In the video I go over how to do that. I also have a written pattern for this, so if you would prefer a written pattern. And I think it's really cute. It just has some simple basic cables. I like doing post stitches and making pictures out of yarn. So don't let the cables intimidate you because they're really not that difficult. So this one is the muffin hat, and the reason why it's called the muffin hat is my daughter named it. And she thought it looked like a muffin when it's on the hat on your head. She's just like, oh mom, that looks like a muffin. So I thought that was a cute name, so I went with muffin hat. So the second pattern in the series was an ear warmer. So here we go, and this is called the Art Deco ear warmer. And the reason why I called it that is, so I made a chart from Art Deco wallpaper. I love Art Deco architecture. I love the fashion, the designs. I just think Art Deco is just like a really cool time period. I just love the aesthetics of it. And so I made this chart like years and years ago and just didn't find the right project for it. So here we go. And this is made using mosaic crochet, which is a newer technique for me. It's not a new technique at all. It's just one that I hadn't really explored that much. So I thought, I was trying to learn it and just thought a nice, easy mosaic crochet. This is probably like a beginner one, so if you've never done it before, this would be a really great project to kind of dip your toe in mosaic crochet. So the third pattern in the series is this one. This is the Holy Moly cowl. As you can see, lots of holes in this guy. And the nice thing with this project is you can make it as long or as short as you would like. So this is kind of like a middle of the road size cowl here. It's not too long, it's not too short. And I made this using sock weight yarn, and this turned out really, really nice. It's just a lightweight cowl. It is got some wool in it, so it's a hair scratchy, but after blocking it and I used some conditioner, it did soften it up a little bit. And I have worn it around my neck, and actually it's not too bad. So, and I hate having a cold neck, but I find this to be actually fairly warm despite the holes. And I know I have worn this a few times. I think this one turned out really cute. And it's actually just made out of very simple stitches. It's made with single crochet stitches and slip stitches. So if you've not done much with slip stitch crochet, this would be a great project to, as I say, dip your toe into it. And you don't have to use sock weight yarn. You could use worsted weight yarn. Whatever weight yarn that you have on hand would be fine for this project. I like to make a lot of patterns where people have choices. I love choices. I love clothing, and I love like a lot of choices. I'm just into that. It's kind of weird. But I also like choices with my patterns, because not everybody has the same yarn as I have, or not everybody has access to the yarn that I would have, and vice versa. So I like to make my patterns customizable so that you can maybe just dive into your stash and use what you have. That's kind of what I'm about, like use what you have, make do with what you have. Alright, so pattern 4 in this series is braided ends, and there is a knit version. So it's my first knitting pattern on YouTube, so you experienced knitters, go easy on me. But I think this turned out really, really cute. This one was made with well, I don't know what type of yarn this was. I didn't have a lot of it, but it's a chunkier yarn, definitely bulky. And I made another one, and this one was made with 2 strands of yarn. So this is another one that you can customize. You can make this as long as short as you would like. You could actually even make it, if you wanted this wider, you could easily do that with this one. And this one I added little buttons on it, and my daughter has actually worn this one quite a bit. And this yarn was kind of funky because it has a little bit of like almost like elastic in it. So yeah, it has like little braids on the ends, and I think it turned out cute. And you can kind of customize this one for however you'd like. You don't have to add buttons on it like this one. I didn't. But yeah, my daughter, she's been wearing these quite a bit this winter because she started winter track, and sometimes I have to run outside, and it gets pretty cold. So number 5 in the series is another braided ends. Here we go, and this is the crocheted version, so it looks a little bit different than the knit version. And this one, again, you can customize this. You don't have to make it as wide. I used this yarn was called Hayfield Spirit. It's actually a number 5, so a little bit chunkier than the typical worsted weight yarn. Has a little bit of wool in it, and as this one again has the braided ends on the side. But you could definitely use lighter weight yarn, and I trying to think, I think I might have used a J hook, which I think is a 6mm hook, so a little bit larger hook with this guy too. So this is another one that, again, you can customize this, use what you have at home. You can use a smaller hook. You don't have to make it as wide as I did. So you can, definitely use what you have on hand. So my next project in the series, my next pattern was called the honeycomb hat, and this is made using Tunisian crochet in the round. And the great thing with, I made 2 of them. So here's the one. This was just using 1 yarn, and then the other one I used 2 colors here. And you can do 1 or 2 colors. I love both of them actually. And the really awesome thing with this project is it's made entirely in the round, and you didn't need to use a double-ended hook. I have double-ended hooks, and I've experimented, I guess is what I'm trying to say, with working Tunisian in the round, and I just wasn't loving it. So I found this technique online, and I can link it below, of doing Tunisian in the round with just a corded. You definitely need to use a corded Tunisian hook, which the ones that I used are bamboo, and I found them on Amazon, a pack of at least 10 for like $9.99. Super great deal. Some of them are a little bit rough, so it was really an easy fix. I just sanded them a little bit, had a little bit of sandpaper, or you could even use like an emery board, like you file your nails, and just sanded the rough parts, and perfectly fine. And they work really, really well, and they were an amazing deal. So yeah, you only need to use a corded crochet hook to make these, and really, really simple technique. It does give you a little bit of a seam, so here you go in the back, but I actually find it to be kind of cool. Like, this could be a design element, or you just wear it in the back. I've seen store-bought knitted hats that actually have sewn seams on them. Why can't a handmade one have a seam too? It's okay. So yeah, this is called the honeycomb cat because it uses the Tunisian honeycomb stitch, and it's actually really one of my favorite Tunisian stitches. I think it's a super beautiful stitch, and it's really simple to do. And if you use 2 colors like I did here, it gives like a stained glass effect to me, and I just think it's super beautiful. But it's also beautiful just using the one type of yarn. This is like an ombre type yarn. I think it's Lion Brand something. I will put it up on the screen if I can find the label, which probably lost it. But this is it reminds me of like a sunset, and I think it's also super pretty just using the 1 yarn as well. And this is a decate weight yarn that I used, and this one is a worsted weight, and it worked equally well with both. Just keep in mind, if you're using worsted weight, it's going to be slightly larger than if you use decate weight yarn. So number 7 in my series, let me get it on, let me put them on. I'm going to put them on for you, and you'll know immediately what they are. Here we go. These were my trees mittens here, and these were made using very simple stitches and simple color work here. And I thought these turned out really, really cute. I really like them, and they're actually super warm because of how they're made. The yarn is actually carried all the way around. You actually stitch it around, and so it kind of creates a thicker fabric. But for mittens, that's really perfect. You want your mittens to be thicker because you want to stay warm. And so this technique I thought really, really worked well. But yeah, these are the trees mittens. I think they're really fun and cute. And so the next pattern in the series was number 8, is called the Everyone Scarf. And the reason why I called it the Everyone Scarf is you can actually make this. It works great for guys, it works great for girls. You can make it for little ones, and you can make this as long or as short as you would like. You can also make it as wide as you would like. You can use 1 color, 2 colors, every row a different color, and it just has a really nice texture. It's a really pretty stitch. This was made with a stitch of the week, which I can't remember what I called it. I actually think I found the name of this stitch. I believe it's called the Trinity stitch. I have to double check, but I was actually just scrolling through Facebook and saw a project that somebody had made, and I'm like, oh, that stitch looks familiar. And I didn't know the name. I'm terrible with names of stitches. Like, I prefer just like seeing how it's made instead of like, oh, do you know how to make the granite stitch? And I'm like, I don't know. Just show me how it's made, and maybe I do. I don't know. But that's just me. I guess that might annoy some people. But I think I called it some type of cluster because it is made up of cluster stitches. But I do think it's called the Trinity stitch. But it's a really beautiful stitch. It's really easy to do, and it looks great on both sides. Because some stitches, you know, they have a right side and a wrong side. And as for scarves, that doesn't always work really well because if you're wearing a scarf, you know, it might flip around, and you know, you'd have to work really hard to keep it if it's just like one right side on the right side at all times. For this one, you know, if it flips over, it looks fine. So pattern 9 is where I called it quits. I got up to pattern 9, and again, I'll show you what the last 3 are going to be. They will be going up, but pattern 9 is called the Crazy Christmas Bow Hat. So here you go, and I actually really love this hat. This is probably my favorite pattern in the whole series. I just wanted to make, I love bows. I'm a sucker for a bow, and I just wanted to make something with a big old bow on it, and this hat pattern kind of came into being, and I made 2 of them. So here's the one, and here's the other, and I kind of made it as like a companion to the trees mittens. It's using some similar techniques with the extended single crochet, carrying the yarn. Makes a really nice warm hat and a really comfortable hat to wear. You wear glasses, and it's hard wearing hats with glasses because it hurts. Where this one, actually, I can wear my glasses, it's quite comfortable, and I just find there's not a lot of hats that are glasses friendly, and you know, people that wear glasses, we get cold heads too. We want to wear hats, we want to look cute but not be uncomfortable, you know what I mean? So this one definitely works for that. And so yeah, I made a green one and a white one, and yeah, just super cute, super fun. I mean, I think it's super cute and fun. Maybe, you know, it is kind of crazy with the big old bow, but you know, I really, really love this hat, love wearing it, and it's my favorite out of this series, I think. Okay, so now we've reached the patterns that didn't make it in time for 12 days of winter wear, but I am working on them, and you know, hopefully within the next week or 2, I'll at least have pattern 10 out for you, and you know, it will have Christmas music on there because that's the theme, and just go with it. So this one is another ear warmer. It's called the Last Minute Ear Warmer, and the reason why is this works up super, super fast. So if you need an ear warmer quickly, this would be your pattern, and I think it turned out really cute. I made this one, and I made this one, which this is my daughter's because it's her school colors, and when she goes running outside for track, she's, you know, showing school spirit. But you don't have to make it in stripes. This one uses a stitch of the week. It's the crossed single crochet, and it's a really beautiful stitch, and it just works really, really well with this pattern. So you can use just all one color, or you can make stripes like I've done. So I have this one, and then I did the stripes a little bit differently with this one here, and I was just trying to use up yarn with this one because this yarn here I just think is like, it's heinous to me. It's really ugly in the skein. It's kind of like, almost looks like speckled barf. To me, it's not cute. It was gifted to me. I would never have bought it, but I'm trying to figure out what to make with it, and I actually think it turned out cute in this, and with the green here. Yeah, there's a yarn for every project for every yarn, I guess, even ugly ones. So pattern 11 is another ear warmer. Sorry, I feel like I was just a little uninspired this year with my pattern series because, again, I was just trying too hard, and sometimes when you're trying too hard, it just doesn't pan out as well as you would like. But hey, ear warmers are part of winter wear, and you know, this is another fast one. So this one goes along with a couple other patterns that I've made in the past. I kind of have like a slant series, and it uses the camel stitch or half double crochet in the third loop, whatever you want to call it. So I decided to make an ear warmer out of it. So here we go. I still need to finish her up with the ends and stuff. But I thought, you know, let's make a slant ear warmer because I have a slant hat, I have a slant cowl, and I have slant mittens. So if you don't like hats, cowls, or mittens, but you like ear warmers, here you go. And this one is another really fast project, and this one is fairly seamless here. This was made with a variegated yarn. It's one of those weird colorways in the skein that it looks super pretty, and then when you make it, you're kind of like, not as pretty as I thought it would be. I mean, it's okay, but it's not as nice as I was hoping. But it works well, I think, for this pattern. I think you can definitely see the slant as just some basic post stitches there, and I think it'll be a nice ear warmer. And again, you can make this as wide as you would need. I was running out of yarn, so this is as wide as she got. So yeah, this will be pattern 11, and it's the slant ear warmer. So now we're finally to pattern 12. Thank you for making it this far in the video. If you hadn't intend for it to be this long, but you know, it's been a while since I've done this catching up one. So this one will be number 12 in the series of 12 days of winter wear, and it is going to be a sweater, and I think I'm calling it the Casual Friday sweater because it's definitely more of a casual sweater. It's sort of like, I try to make it like one of those oversized 80s sweaters. I grew up in the 80s, and the oversized like shaker sweaters were super popular, and they were just so easy to wear. I had a couple and I loved them actually. You just kind of threw them on with either like a turtleneck or by itself, and you know, this would be cute with leggings, jeans, whatever, you know, however you would want to style it. And you'll be able to make it with, you know, stripes, whatever yarn that you would like. This one is made with worsted weight. I'm currently making another one too with decate weight yarn to kind of compare the two. And as you can see, I'm still working on it. We were missing a sleeve here. So this one is still in progress. I tried so hard to have everything done in time, and it just was too much. But yeah, we've got one sleeve. We still have ends to weave in and things to write and things to film, but this one will get out hopefully, you know, before winter's over. You know, I'm hoping to have all 3 of the remaining patterns done by the end of January. That's the goal for this. So I am actually pretty far ahead with this guy. And with this one, it's more of a recipe, so I'm not going to have like exact stitch counts. I'll kind of give you some numbers that you can try, because again, with like American Girl dolls or 18-inch dolls and human beings, we're all different sizes, and I find it to be really tricky to size things because again, we are all different shapes and sizes. So I like to have more recipes where you can kind of tweak it to fit you. You know, you might like a shorter sweater, more cropped or more fitted, or you know, you want shorter sleeves or whatever. This pattern, you know, I'm going to have tips to help you achieve what you want out of, you know, however you want it to fit. This is more of like a boxy style where some people might not like that. That's what I was going for with this one. And you know, I'm going to put some tips in the written pattern, so if you wanted to have it more fitted, you know, around your waist, you know, that's easily done with, you know, decreased stitches. You know, same with the sleeves if you wanted it, you know, more of a boxy sleeve or a fitted. This is a slightly kind of in between, and that's the style that I wanted. So I'm going to have tips with that, and you know, and have some numbers out there to kind of help you with sizing, but it's made top down. So the nice thing with making top down is you can try it on as you go, and you can see, you know, how the fit is going. So that's the nice thing with top down sweaters. And this is made using all half double crochet with a little bit of single crochet thrown in. So yeah, so this is worsted weight yarn. It's actually Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn, and she's a thick sweater. She's going to be warm, she's going to be toasty, you know, all that acrylic yarn, like she's going to hold in the heat, which is good for me because I'm always cold. But I think it's turning out really, really cute. So yes, this is number 12, so you know, yay, we're gonna get there. So if you've lasted this long, I really, really appreciate it. And again, please like and subscribe, and I, you know, try to upload once a week. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I thank you so much for watching.